Oh, it's off? Okay. Yeah, so I just happened to give this presentation on Thursday, and it's basically about a personal project that I did about a year ago in about a week. And it was basically, I was digging through old stuff that I built, and I was like, oh my god, this was a really cool project. Why have I not done more with this? Or done something serious with it? So part of today is actually me getting feedback from you guys about like, hey, what would you do with this? Could this be something real? So while I'm going through this, if you guys, whoever has cell phone access or mobile access, if you guys could open up this URL on your phones, yoth.co-3359. If you get there and you're able to do it, you should see something like this on your screen. It may, yeah, it should work. Who actually doesn't have cell phone access? I'm just curious. How many of you don't? How many of you do? Okay, is everyone who does not kind of near someone who does? If you are not, yeah, go ahead and move closer, because that's the fun part of the presentation. Okay. Say hello, introduce yourselves, socialize. Okay, now with that. So here's who I am. My name is Riaz. I originally got sort of a liberal arts degree from Hopkins, and then I went into management consulting. And then after that, I realized that I really loved to code. I loved everything technology. So I work for a company now called MCN, and I just write code and all sorts of languages, and it's a lot of fun. So here's my idea. A lot of times we're in presentations, audiences, whatever, and it kind of looks like this, right? Like it just feels like a slow slumber. It's sucking the life out of you. Either you're bored, or something's wrong. People look like this. You guys don't. It's awesome. And it just, frankly, sometimes it sucks, right? It's just, there's nothing you can do. You can't be like, boo, like that just wouldn't be polite. You fall asleep. That happens too. It's happened to me. Sometimes it's awesome, right? You're really connecting with the presenter. You're learning something. You're going to take something away from this that you're going to remember. It's memorable. And you just feel awesome. It's just like, yes. What's the problem in all this? There's no feedback, right? There's no way for me to honestly know right now whether I'm doing a good job. There's no way for you to provide that feedback without being impolite, right? Well, why isn't there a passive mechanism to do that? That would be appropriate. That would be useful for both parties. So what if there was a mechanism like that that was simple, real-time, and fun? This is kind of the three keywords that I kind of honed in on. So that's where I came up with this idea. So I just wanted to find a .com that had the word thumb in it because I really thought thumbs were important in the idea. So it's called YoThumb. It's not a company. It's not a product. It's a fun personal project. It's online for free right now. It runs. And here's how it works. The presenter creates a URL, which is what I did, and I gave it to you guys, right? You guys go to it, and while we start the presentation, you guys are going to have, just not started yet, you guys are going to get a swipe-based interface. We're just like sitting there, and almost like a sentiment analysis during like a political poll, or like someone in the State of the Union, you're going to get to react. And I'm going to see that feedback. It's also going to be recorded, but I could be doing my thing and realize there's a lot of red on my screen going, maybe I'm doing something wrong and I should adjust. Let's try it. So if you haven't gone there, or if you need a refresh or whatever, go to that URL. And this is bigger. So this is the one I created. And that's the URL. And I'm going to basically start it. Okay. So as you can see, I can see in the corner of my screen how many people are connected. And this is a really terrible chart I put up in like 10 minutes one time. It's a high chart thing. But it's just showing me in real time kind of what's happening. And I'm seeing the number that's sort of just going on. Yeah, and you know, I can sort of hopefully find some better visualization. I can just let this go and just do my thing while you guys are interacting with it. Now, the thing that was really hard about this technically was it was very important to me to add a lot of functionality, but not make it an app. Because if I told you right now, hey everyone, go to the App Store, download this app, and then go and sign into this thing, and then put like, how many of you honestly would have been like, yeah, I'm just not sitting here, right? So I'm not at the cool part yet. This is the really cool part, okay? Well, one, I don't know if you guys know, you guys can tap on the center of your screen that you can actually see the same number I'm seeing. Kind of up in the air whether that's a good idea. It's like you're doing really badly, like you want everyone to know. Although someone told me that like what you should do is not let them see feedback until they swipe, because then it incentivizes them to respond. Okay, so I'm going to end this session because I'm done with today. I'm just done. Okay. So now, this is now done, right? Like, And yeah, my shameless little plug on there, I do some freelancing on the side, so if anyone really wants, you can email me from that page. I can go and do this.
So you can see, I can see in the corner of my screen how much
So if I was, if I saw a general trend, like, oh, I may look at this and be like, what did I do here, right? Like, what did I say that got people really excited? And like, what happened here where like people were really pissed? And so that in essence is the demo. What it is. It's very, very simple, but the impetus actually originally came when I had a friend of mine who was like watching YouTube videos, and he was like, why do I have to like or dislike this video at the very end? Like, why can't I like hit it while I'm watching it, and then like I can like be like, I like this part and I don't like that part, because I'm watching this video and I like this part and I don't like that part. And I was like, well, why can't we do that for anything? Like, anytime people are reacting in synchronicity at the same time to a centralized source, like, why can't you allow them to provide feedback at any time and use that? And I've had friends be like, why don't you use this for like business pitches? Like, people give business pitches to whatever, and like, what part of your pitch is working, rather than sort of asynchronous feedback at the end of it. Like, I remember 5 minutes ago you said this and I didn't like that. People aren't very good at that. I did have a friend use it who was an independent filmmaker at a film screening, and he basically used it for like film testing, and usually those tools are very expensive, and Hollywood's using a lot of money, and he was like, I have like a $10,000 documentary that I made for this company, and we have no idea, we're going to do a screening and we have no idea whether it works. So like, we can ask them afterwards, but that kind of sucks. You don't remember what they like and don't like very well. So that's the thing. Any questions?
Well, you said that you were trying to do something passive, but by its nature, it's actually very active. They're taking attention away from that.
Yeah, and
is that something you account for?
That's kind of the hard part, is because it's not like it's something that relies very heavily upon very subconscious ways of how people interact. So if you make it really, really active, like if I was, some people were like, why can't I say why I liked it or didn't like it, right? It wasn't just a quick swipe. Then you have like the presenters, like my audience is constantly looking down here, like trying to read this and play with it and all that stuff. And that was the reason for doing swipes, was that you could kind of just have it open and just keep doing it, right? And ideally, if I could control the phone blocking itself, then it's even less that. So it's interactive, but at the same time, I don't want, like, no presenter, no central authority really wants people to be distracted from it. Like, you're dividing their attention, so you got to be very cognizant of how you divide their attention.
Have you thought about breaking it up into chunks somehow? So, like you have beginning, middle, and end sections you just want.
Yeah, so I had someone be like, why can't you attach like a PowerPoint to it, and therefore you could present maybe, and then kind of see what reactions were per slide or something like that. And that's all fine, but then you'd have to become their entire presentation tool, right? And then you'd have to put a lot of other features in that people may want. And there were other people that were like, can the presenter break it into sections and decide when the switches? But then you got to pay attention to the presenter to say hey, wait, I got to hit this button to say we're moving on to the next section. So how do you demarcate that, right? How do you know? How does the tool know without asking for a lot of work from the presenter when those sections start and end? However you break them down. I haven't found an answer to that yet. So.
That's awesome. That's all.
Have you been able to kind of test and get input on different patterns? Like, for example, if someone's building up to suspense, how does the sentiment grow before the reward? And
I think that's the perfect kind of use case for it. It's just, I kid you not, this was made a year ago, and then I got a new job, and then I forgot about it. And then I came back to it a couple days ago when someone wanted to talk about WebSockets in the presentation, so I presented it, and I made one commit after a year. So people really liked it.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but due to the hard time limit, I know there were a couple people who still had questions. In case anyone isn't aware, the room where you initially signed in, that's the social room. You're free to go hang out there and have all the chats about anything you want. Because we do have to keep the main presentations are all good. Thank you so much.